all. Introduce yourself.
Sure, my name is Philippe Talavera. I was born in France, but I've been living in Namibia for the last 28 years. Namibia is home. I run an NGO. It's not really a film company. It's more like an NGO. We are a charity. And the idea is that we use art to create social awareness. So all our projects have an art component and all try to address specific issues, generally with young people.
Okay. Now tell us about a bit about the movies that you entered for a festival this year. Tell us a bit more about it.
Sure. Actually, they are part of a bigger project we are doing in the north of Namibia. And maybe just to put it in context, in Namibia, we have a lot of problem with gender-based violence and a lot of problem with domestic violence. And when I was asked to conceptualize this project, especially with young people, I thought, how do we do that in a way that is different, something that has not really been done? And for me, part of the problem is that media always talk about domestic violence and gender-based violence, which is good, but then they always tend to portray the man as a perpetrator and the woman as the survivor. And I think it's something a little bit dangerous because it can become the norm that men are the bad guy and women are the victims. So
is that the reason that you made two particular films which will really explain the difference and break that mentality, that way of thinking that people have?
Exactly. So we worked with young people. We worked with a group of 70 boys and 70 girls in the north, and we asked them, actually, let's look from your perspective, what is the community expecting of you as a boy? What is the community expecting of you as a girl? What are your friends expecting of you as a boy? What are your friends expecting of you as a girl? And the idea was to put all those stereotypes, all those messages we receive every day, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, be this, be that, don't be this, don't be that, that we receive from community, from church, from friends, from social media, and to put them all. And with those young people, we created those two poems. And for me, they are very pertinent because they show what young Namibian people, boys and girls, are facing and the various truths they have to reconcile, the do and don't, the must and mustn't. And when you put all of them together, somehow it does not make sense. How can you be who you want to be with all this information that is coming to you all the time? And the idea of doing those two films, we then invited actors, radio presenters, sport personalities to say the poems, was to encourage people to think a little bit more about what are those stereotypes, what are those messages we receive constantly about be a boy, be a girl, and how do those messages influence us, first as individuals and as community, but also in a way can fuel some of the problem we are facing about violence, about gender inequality, and so on and so forth. So the idea was really to create something a little bit controversial that will put people face to face with those messages all at once. In 6 minutes, you are receiving all those messages and to get people to think about it and to think about what does it mean for them.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. And let me congratulate you for the wonderful job that you are doing. And there's not many people who really come out their way to really break the stereotypes that we have. The issue is that we are brought up with certain stereotypes but is forced upon us as we grow up. So congratulations for that initiative. Wish you best of luck. Philippe, any anecdote or good memories during the shooting that you want to share with us?
Actually, the shooting was actually fun because we invited those actors, radio presenters, Miss Namibia, those personalities to say the poem. And they each said section of the poem. So they didn't really have the whole picture. And it was really fun to have discussion with them as well about, that section of the poem. What did you understand? Why, what does it mean to you? Everybody was really eager to do it and really eager to participate. And we did it in 2.5 days, to be honest. It was a very short shooting. And we also worked with 4 dancers to bring a little bit of movement in the piece. And that was really fun, actually, to do this project. But what I loved most were all the discussion that started even at that stage, even before it was a film, all the discussion that already started just by having people reading the poems.
Okay. First of all, thank you for your creativity. Thank you for being different and continue in this way. Any project coming up? New projects?
Oh, we actually are working on a big feature, a film that would be 100 minutes long, so quite different. But we're working on a project with and about street children. We have in Namibia, unfortunately, like in a lot of parts in Africa, more and more children living and working in the streets. And we interviewed some of those kids and we created a film. So it would be a fiction, but based on some of those interviews, some of those stories that we got about children living in the streets. So it's quite a harsh movie. It's not as light as the shorts that we presented at the festival, because it's about an unfortunate reality, which is children living in the streets.
Ben Philippe, je te souhaite toutes les bonnes chances du monde. J'espère que tu vas continuer à partager cette énergie positive. Et voilà, like we say, break a leg.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having us at the festival.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. We wish you good luck and thank you for your time, Philippe.
Pleasure. Have a nice day.
First thing, who are you?
First, my name is Witty Mistrel. I'm an artist, a musical director. I write music, I produce music, and I'm a new, let me say, a new movie producer, because actually this project, like my film that you guys selected, the Kikum Spirit, actually is from the Untold African Story project. It has a musical part of it, which I released earlier, and then I shot the movie. So I want to tell the story in all directions. Like, you want to listen to it, you listen. If you listen to my story and you cannot understand it, you see the visuals. At least it's going to help you to understand. So I do all my parts like that. That is my kind of art. Actually, I'd like to express my art perfectly, so that if I give you the music, if you cannot hear it, I give you the visuals. That is how it is.
Okay, so the Kikum story. Just tell us how it took birth, how the project started, and how. Tell us a bit more about the movie.
Yeah, the Kikum Spirit, like I said, it is from the Untold African Story project, and the concept of the project is it is from my musical album. I call it the Untold African Story. It has 6 songs. The first song is talking about Africa before the white man. The second song is talking about Africa when the white man comes into Africa. The third song is talking about the transatlantic slave trade. The fourth song is talking about slavery itself. The fifth song is talking about resistance to slave trade and freedom. And the last song, which is the most important and the one that actually gave me this, the one that actually inspired me with this project, the sixth song is actually called the Reconnection, which is the African people that were taken out of Africa overseas now, tracing their roots back to Africa. Everybody is doing a DNA now to know where they come from, actually, in Africa. That is actually the concept. So I did the musical part of it, and then I had to do the movie, and that is what you will see on the visuals on the film.
Okay, so Witty, did you experience any setback, any obstacle any issues that you had while making the movie? Was it easy for you, or you had to go through some issues, any obstacles?
Yeah, yeah. I know there is nothing good comes easy. It's clear.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had
true.
so many setbacks because we actually had to go back to the time. It's a slave trade movie. It's long gone, and we had to bring back those images to people's faces. Like, starting from the costume, it was a very difficult thing. I had to study so many history books, and I learned so much,
A lot
starting
of
from the
research work,
pre-production.
a lot of research work was there behind, right?
Yeah, a lot of research work, and not just from books, from stories like personal interviews with elderly people, not just from book. Because I you should know that what we have been taught in school is not actually the real history of Africa. That is what the people that give us the history is what they want us to hear. There is so much about Africa that has never been in books. And that is what we want to bring out, the untold African story. So it's not just and when you watch the movie, it is I actually look at it like a pilot to what I want to do, because I want to bring in more of it. So it's just part.
So basically, the intent of this movie is really to show the world about the real African story, which is unfortunately not told at school and all that. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is a very wonderful, a very nice, a very laudable initiative. I'll congratulate you for that. Has your film released in your country? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just did a private screening. I think last week Saturday, I did a private screening actually, but
Yeah.
I don't call it a release yet because I want to do a tour with the movie. I want to do screenings on all of I want to do 10 city screens in my country, and then I will do Europe, I will do UK, and I'm going to do America actually, because my target audience is America. So I have been
Yeah.
planning for that, and I have so many people waiting already.
Yeah.
I was in America last year 6 times or 7 times because of that. And that is my target, or that is my target audience. So I have to put more power on that. So, but I don't want to go out of Africa without actually doing a tour for people to see first before I go to my target. That is the plan.
So what was the first responses that you had with your first audience? Did you get the response that you expected?
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was so happy to see, and it's something that has never been done. Like from where I come from, most often they will go for musical concerts, and they will go for a movie premiere separately. But this time around, I am bringing them two in one. So when I organize a premiere, if I'm going for a concert, everybody is coming to watch the movie and watch a concert, which is something new that they are like. I'm telling the story fully in it. I'm telling the story in its entirety, and it is different. So everybody was so amazed, and I don't know.
Okay,
I
I
don't
get
know
it. I
how
get
it's
it.
going to look like.
I feel you, like we say. I feel you, Witty. So any difficulties you had during the shooting? Any issues? Any
Yeah.
difficulties?
Yes, I had issues. I like from the costume. I had to work on that, and we had to shoot the movie very far from the city.
Yeah.
Actually had to go to where there was no, because we you were not supposed to be seeing aluminum or paper or wrapping papers or development. Actually, let me just say
Okay.
development. So we
Okay.
had to go to where there is no development. We had to build some huts, and we had to bring in people from the city to that like it was very difficult because it was difficult because we actually shot somewhere very far from town,
Yeah.
and we brought in all the big actors from town to the village, and we had to build some huts. We had to bring in people from like from the neighboring villages. We had to. There was so much to do because everything was not there for us. We had to bring everything to the set, so it was very difficult.
Anyway, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you a lot of nomination, a lot of awards, and of course recognition for the good job you're doing. Thank you very much for your time, Witty. And yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it. Best of luck. Mila, qui manière?
Mo bien. Mo
Oh my God.
créole. Oui, mo
Yeah, you still got the accent.
I do. Well, you
Nice.
know, I speak when I go. My family, they live in Australia now, so I do
Yeah.
speak when I go there, and we speak, you know, the usual Mauritian. We cause anglais.
Oh my God. Okay. I was just
And I
going
grew up,
through
you
you.
know, I was in Mauritius. I was raised there from the age of 3 to 8, and I
Okay.
went to Philippe Talavera, Nichab Cheres Bobassa. Mon papa Nuenan La Case do Phoenix. So that I was really wanting to come out there because it's just a heartfelt thing for me, you know, obviously because of my heritage. So
At least we got you virtually. This is going to be broadcasted in the FAR International Film Festival, and
Thank
it's
you.
like you're with us. So
Thank you so much.
first of all, let me tell you, it is with great pride that I'm doing this interview with you today. So, Mila, how it started in the film world, in the cinema world for you?
Okay, so basically I started obviously in front of the camera. So I started on the acting side, trained in different various acting methods. I've done some commercial prints and worked on a couple of independent film. And one day I was on set and I was intrigued with the filmmaking process, and I had a story that I wanted to tell. And I went back to film school. So it started on that journey for me. And, you know, there's many people they can just pick up a camera and shoot, but I had no technical knowledge, and I felt that that's what I needed to do. So I did it. I studied directing, producing, post-production, and then transferred and finished with a screenwriting degree. And actually screenwriting was like my least strength. And, you know, I had to think about, is that what I should be majoring in? And I was like, yeah, I do. Because, you know, having the ability to write changes everything. Everything starts with a script.
That's true. I do some of writing myself. I understand what you're saying. Then your first film, how did it come? Was it easy? Was it tough?
The whole process of it. Okay, so it started actually. I started writing this script in my first writing class, and you know, it was a little bit difficult at first, and then what happened in 2020, you know, obviously the world was changing. So I just pulled from events that were happening there. And, you know, conspiracy theories were at an all-time high there at that time. So I just, you know, started researching, and it's an amalgamation of several conspiracy theories put together within a story.
Okay.
The journey of making the film, of course, you know, any type of film, you know, I have utmost respect for any filmmakers. You know, it's a challenging journey, taking something that's a concept and turning that into a tangible product. So you know, and managing such a large crew and 23 actors or so that I have. So yeah, but you know, it's rewarding, it's satisfying when you do finish something.
Especially when you see the final product in front of you, that thing that started on a piece of paper, and like you just said, it was the first script that you worked on, and you took that and worked on it and made it into a film. So it's like a dream come true, right?
Yes, it's my first featurette, so definitely. Like I'd worked on something that was like a minute or 3 minutes, but to this capacity, yeah, you know, I had a couple of people tell me it's an ambitious script, you know, because obviously there's sci-fi in it, there's all this. So it was a great learning journey, you know, being able to work with different things and different elements. VFX, which I haven't worked with. I had quite a heavy influence with the sound effects or sound designs. So it's definitely, you know, a learning experience.
Okay, so now let's move to the movie that you have entered in this festival. Where did the inspiration come? How it, I mean, how it happened?
So it did start the film from the pandemic. We had conspiracy theories. We had political things happening here in the United States. We had the BLM movement, you know, with the protests, and it just, I pulled from that. So I pulled from there's a couple of conspiracies that were going online with different groups. Also David Icke, he had a conspiracy theory, you know, with reptilians taking over the world and aliens. So I pulled on different elements and amalgamated it into a story. And as you could tell, our lead is of African American heritage. So I used that with everything that was going and place that within the story.
Okay,
And
I'm very happy that the movie is going to be played for the festival, and Mauritian people are going to see what Mauritian can do, whether it be here, whether it be overseas, because anyway, that culture that we have, that motion, couler mauricien, like we say, this can be seen in everything artistic that we do, whether it be here, whether it be overseas. So we always there is part of that culture which somewhere very subtly reflects in all of our work. So I feel proud, like I told you before, I feel really proud that and I watched the movie. It's, I won't say more, let the people see it. But let me congratulate you for this project.
thank you so much.
And do you have anything, any message for nos camarades Mauriciens here?
Message is, you know, if you have a dream, you have a purpose, just focus and do it. You can do anything that you really set your mind to. And, you know, I'm a proud Mauritian. I want to, this is my first thing, is, you know, I've written a couple of other things. I'm going to put Mauritius on the map as much as possible as I can. So I'm going to represent my people. So yeah, and I'm just honored to be able to screen my film in Mauritius, you know, and make my family proud. So thank you.
You
so
make
much.
us proud. You make us proud, Mila. So again, congratulations. Keep shining and keep the Mauritian flag high. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
your time. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Okay, have a nice day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.